She's there until I kind of opened one.
Gonna go ahead and get started for our CDD board meeting here. All right. I call to order the regular meeting for the Board of Supervisors, Board here at CDD. It is approximately 10:05 a.m. Gonna go ahead and take roll call. All right, members of the board, Deborah Hyam.
Present.
Bobby Bouchard.
Here.
Subhana Neelam.
Here.
Karen Winker.
Here.
All right, members of your staff, you have Joe Bolins, your general manager. Brian Mendez with Rosetta, representing your district management team. Meredith and Savannah with your legal team in person. REG Woodcock on the call, your district engineer. And then we of our service team with Yellowstone, Peter and Simon with Resort Pools today. And we do have members of the audience. All right, going to go ahead and open up for public comments. All of our residents, newcomers, you have 3 minutes to bring anything to the board's attention on the agenda item. We do have a first sign-in sheet for Jeff Boyle. Jeff, I do have your address here at 1011 Oak Bluff Drive. I will make a note for that record, and please.
All right, thank you. I want to wish all you guys Happy New Year. Glad to be here.
Happy New Year, thank you.
I hope this New Year brings more cohesiveness and we can get down to our major issues that we have here and we all can work together with it. Some of the things that happen here are 24/7, 365. A lot of us deal with it on that basis. Some don't, they're not here all the time. But it just gets to be a little frustrating when there's issues here that they don't seem to be taken care of on the first look. Well, maybe we have a little bit more information to have put out there for residents to understand that, hey, we are really working on this. We're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. And that's fine again, you know, and we're taking up a new project over here with the children's play area, which I can't comment on the workshop because obviously my time is limited. I hope we're putting a play area back for these kids. I think that's something they deserve here. There's really nothing out here that the kids can play with except for those checkerboards or something that we have out here, or maybe some games that they have, but they have that play area for. I think it's a real plus. And I also have just found out today that we're going to be getting a return member of the board back, which I'm very, very happy that Brian is going to be back here working with everybody. I think he brings such an amount of graciousness and knowledge to this group. And hopefully everybody can get together on this and work as a team. And that's about all I have.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you for those comments, Jenna. Any other public comments at this time? Yes, sir. Just need your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, it's William Lyons, 7671 North Smooth.
Yes, sir.
And I don't even know if this is the right forum for this, but what about mail delivery in this area? Has this ever, when I first came in, they said it was, they were working on it. But we're 2 years into it, I haven't heard any more about it.
I think that would be, would that be under the HOA?
I can answer.
Sure.
So when this community was first developed, it was developed as a short-term rental community. The Springs wasn't even a thought at the time. That came much later due to some economic issues. But their deal with the county, we never paid for. The developers never paid for mail service. It was never, we were never on their route. We were never part of it. And for that, we also, our taxes are a little bit less and that kind of thing. We did go back because a couple of years ago, some people were requesting that we do have mailboxes. It does create a little bit of an issue. We're looking at maybe having a kiosk that people could come to, but the post office refused us. They said no. So it's pretty much an open and closed situation. The post office is not willing to put us on their roof. They're not willing to deliver here. So that's where we are. The only mail delivery that comes in this area is to the clubhouse for theirs.
Is it a closed attorney or it could be opened up?
They-
If there was- Sorry, let me just right here. One more, open flutes.
You're making my member.
But yeah, could it be reopened and is it just about money issue at that time?
You know, we could keep asking, you know, whoever the chair is at the time, could I suppose keep.
Maybe the supervisor would be able to bring that up at any time. We have a staff looked into it. It was cost prohibitive, it was space prohibitive when the board had previously looked into this. I think it was on the board a couple of years ago when.
Yeah, I think it was Connie at the time.
And Bobby and Karen, I think I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And I did ask the postmaster when I was at the post office, probably 5 or 6 months ago, why we can't get mail here, and they said they just don't have the facility on the staffing to
Right.
even make it work for the size of this.
They don't even recognize our addresses.
Right, that's what Connie found out.
And so I think that in order to, you know, put forth effort to do this, we probably need to assess how many people on the short-term rental side would feel like it would be a valuable service to them. You know, the homeowners on, the residents on the short-term rental side are significantly small compared to the Springs.
You could petition, you know, the homeowners could get together, create a petition, bring it to the county board of commissioners, bring it to, the postmaster general. And maybe they would budge, but do you recognize that our taxes would also go up for that service for everybody across the board? If they decided to do it, they're not gonna do it at their own expense. If we
And
got a tax.
you're not likely to have a mailbox at your front door. You're still probably gonna need to go to a location to retrieve your mail because even the Springs residents have a mail center. They don't have mailboxes at their door.
That would be fine, like super boxes, like. I'm not an American, I come from Canada, we have super boxes, which are just basically post office boxes that are on the street. And you get your mail there, but right now, everything can get delivered. If I have something coming from Amazon, I can't have it go to my address.
It can come to your house.
Amazon
Amazon,
does.
yes, and FedEx.
Remember when I ordered from Amazon, I don't know if it's coming on UPS or whatever, if it comes in the mail. It has to be checked.
Here, let me help you with that. When you place your order, if it says order fulfilled by Amazon, then it's gonna be delivered by Amazon.
Mhm.
And then you know it'll come to your door. But UPS and FedEx will also deliver to your front door.
Yeah, I know that. I had some government, and I lost stuff because it came by mail.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got, now I have to have the mailbox, I got one of the.
The UPS, yeah, we all do. And that's, you know, it's
Yeah.
one of those things that, you know, we knew coming in, but, we've tried. We can try again, but
But is that not something that the board should be looking at?
Not CDD board.
The CDD board knows, that wasn't feasible at the time. The CDD board can continue to look at it should they wish, but quite frankly, I do love coordinating with the HOA on certain things, and this might be a prime partnership opportunity if we're going to take it to the board levels within the community.
and we have tried. It's not like we don't. We have,
Mhm.
and they flat out said no. So I would say, you know, if there were a number of homeowners, maybe they could petition.
I have no idea how many homeowners are in here versus short-term rentals, I have no idea. I mean, I can understand if we're, I guess we're in minority, if we're just not gonna get looked at.
It has been looked at. It is looked at. But
So now get forced to get.
it's a force majeure, you know,
Let's-
it's not like we have the.
Let's work with the HOA team offline, maybe brainstorm some ideas and, but thank you for those comments, Val.
Yeah.
That's it, I get confused about what's on HOA and what's on CDD.
Sure. No,
Don't worry.
Every time I come to HOA, they tell me CDD. I come to CDD and they tell me HOA, so I'm.
well, we're hearing you, which is the good news, and you have both staff present. Well,
Thank you so much for coming.
yes,
Thank you. Ryan, do you mind like giving a small synopsis, the distinction between the CDD and HOA, so to say?
sure. So from my professional experience, typically what helped me differentiate HOA from CDD was, once I first joined, this career field was pretty much anything to do with private residency, which usually mail would fall under private residency. That would be the HOA. Anything to do with public entities and infrastructure throughout the community, so your parks, your storm systems, your ponds, your amenity area, that would be the CDD, the operating roads, correct. So, anything to do with your home ownership, HOA, outside of that, most likely CDD. Give and take, that's me, council, feel free to weigh
They
in.
also sort of.
These are the smart ones, with the legal stuff.
Mail would fall primarily under your private residence,
Yeah.
not your CDD. The CDD has- We've unfortunately not been successful at the, departments that actually facilitate mail and jurisdictions having authority over your mail. So we've tried as a CDD, but that really is outside of the scope of the CDD service. We're not authorized per statute as a special district to provide you with that service.
I think sure.
The limitation is, and our only involvement would be that any kiosk would be on CDD property. And so for that, sure.
Mhm.
But
Supervisor, you good?
Oh, no, we're good.
Good.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
Wonderful. Any other public comments in the room before I open it up to the open forum on the chat room?
Are you allowed with your comment?
Sure.
So that's
Uh,
Access to the resort when, big holidays are happening, we're gonna get, trying to get in here. Is there anything can be done or everything that can be done has been done?
so Bobby, you want to?
We're actively working on it. We're looking at different equipment, different ways of processing people. That's actually something we're gonna put these on today to see if staffing can shift some of the check-in process to the clubhouse till 9:30 at night on busy holidays and busy times. And so it's something we're actively
Yeah, because you come
working on.
coming up Pine Tree Trail there sometimes, if you're an owner, you're now you got a decision to get into the line where everybody's gonna take half an hour to get in, or go around the whole thing and go in the owner's place.
So that's illegal. You can bypass it if you're coming up from Ronald Reagan and you kind of.
If you cut in at the front, you're getting all kinds of dirty looks.
Because it's illegal. Accidents. So this is a really serious topic and it should not even be a question in your mind or anybody's mind as to whether to do that. Because number one, it's illegal. Number two, it has caused accidents. And we actually last year had 2 families airlifted to hospitals because one did that and the other one broadsided them and it was a mess. And not everybody is coming to this community. We have a lot of development going on around us, and there's a lot of traffic coming from that. In my humble opinion, Polk County didn't plan for it or appropriately, and they're not willing to do anything about it. We have been to the County Board of Commissioners, they've done engineering reports. They've told us, well, it'll cost $5 million to open up the back gate because of a lot of infrastructure things that they require that we do. And by the way, that's on you, that's not on us, so they won't do it. We did get, that land belongs to Villatel. We had discussions with them and they said, yeah, sure, so long as it's only homeowners coming through this gate, that would be no problem. But again, we have to pay for it, $5 million. It's a lot of money. So We looked at some other alternatives. We looked at moving the gate back, which also requires a lot of infrastructure, moving water lines and all kinds of utilities and everything else, getting certain, because it would impinge on certain homeowners' actual property. So and it's time consuming. I love the idea of doing that, but again, it's at least $1 million. 2 years ago, when we looked into it, it was $1 million. We did spend some money on a new system, which has improved the situation immensely. We had 2-hour backups during holidays, 2 hours. People waiting to come into the community. And that's down to, I think, worst case scenario, maybe. So.
With the exception of holidays, which
On
we're
holidays,
working towards.
the holidays, it's been 20 minutes max, would you say?
20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, that time we evaluation, if we have to make changes on the fly, we will. It's all decision based on what's happened, and how bad the traffic is, and obviously safety issues and concerns of community surrounding people.
But under no condition should anybody ever be in such a hurry that they feel like they've got to break the law, go around and make a left-hand turn from the right-hand lane. It has caused accidents, it has caused injury, and it's just kind of weird. Also,
So we're working on some staffing models, so over the next 2 months, we should have some updates and progression to be able to bring back to the residents. All right, thank you.
we're all residents. We sit on that line too, coming in and out. I'm in and out.
And you go for a week, Brad, you could be an hour and a half.
Well, you're not waiting on the line for an hour and a half, so I don't know what you're doing out there to get a loaf of bread, but the bottom line is that we've had vast improvements. Now, here's the issue. The issue is we are a community with 1,200 homes, just under 1,188 homes, with one means of ingress and egress, which is against Florida statute. County Board of Commissioners approved this. They never should have approved this. And when we went to the County Board of Commissioners, a number of us here on this board actually physically went down there to Bartow at 8 o'clock in the morning to put our names on the list so we could stand before them and say, why'd you do this? And their answer to us was, no, it's not our fault, Mia. It's not our fault. It wasn't us.
It wasn't us.
It was the previous board, and we can't say why they did it. No, they shouldn't have done it. And we're like, well, it's kind of incumbent upon, since it was the county that approved this, even though it was against Florida statute, you guys need to rectify it. They wouldn't do it. They said, well, we'll do an engineering report. So they did the engineering report. They told us what it would cost. They suggested that, well, instead of paying $5 million to open up that gate, they could give us another lane, 100 feet, which is basically what, 10 cars? 100 of an extra turning lane, not an extra, but of a turning lane, right? For $1 million. That's not going to change anything in terms of the wait time. Even honestly, moving the gate back 100 feet, which is what we're hoping to do maybe for $1 million, that's not going to speed it up. It's just going to get 10 cars off the street.
Well, I would speak about that. If there could be something where the residents, whatever, have their lane.
Well, we do have.
We do have like,
But
No, you can't get to the lane because all the other people
Right.
are.
Exceeded the 3 minutes, just wanted to put that out.
Okay.
respectfully, we hear what you're saying, but this dog has been beat over and over again. We're actively looking at solutions to decompress the traffic. And until the county wants to widen the road, it doesn't matter how much money we spend, it's not gonna fix the problem.
And we are dedicated towards fixing the problem. So please continue to feel free to join our meetings. I'm sure you are looking at this and we will make some adjustments.
And I technically emailed Jay Jarvis at the Bull County Commission on Engineering, he's in charge of it. He's telling me probably 5 to 10 years before they can even look at getting funds to widen that road. So I mean, it comes down to that at the end of the day, unless you're spending some of the homeowner money and then your CD is gonna go up, everything else is gonna go up. People renting houses now can't even fill the houses. So we try and maintain our current budget and that's saying no taxes, but Debbie said we all live here. We don't want to pay any more, we don't want to do anything to the community that we wouldn't want to live with. I live here full time, 365 days a year, so that traffic, trust me, if there's an easy fix, it'd be done. It's not, we actively working on it consistently, reach out to the county, they told us they put a sign, and they still have to even put a sign. So it's literally, it takes a lot of work just to get them to do simple things that help us.
Thank you for those comments. All right, any other public comments in the room? Any other public comments, or let me open it up for the online forum. Anybody on the call, any public comments for the board's attention at this time? Give you guys a few minutes, I know technology here. Okay. Any public comments? All right. Hearing none, before we go through to the next agenda topic, we do need to take a motion to amend the agenda. There are two things that are being added, for the board's awareness. Next to you, you do have a proposal that Supervisor Broussard has been working with staff on, some of the gate issues that we're having. So we'll be adding that to the agenda, as well as a resolution to consider the vacant board seats. All right, I know a couple of the board members wanted to have this conversation, so.
So I'll make a motion to adjust the agenda to accommodate the aforementioned things. And I would like to
Bear with me, I just gotta take a second. Oh,
do the board seat and then bring, like the engineer right on so that we can get him on and off the call, so we're not paying for him to be sitting, because I see he was on the call.
okay.
And then we can.
You just have to get his staff
Yeah,
report.
to then add the two items to
Yes.
and move the engineer's report up to the first.
And then they get board seat.
Vacant board seat.
After the vacant.
Yes.
All right, so,
Thank you.
second from Supervisor. Which one do you want to do first? Resolution for vacant board seat or?
Vacant board seat.
Vacant board seat it is. All right. I am open to board comments. Okay, understood.
So I guess we need to find out who we have in the room that is looking to
Interested?
fill the vacant board seat.
And my understanding was you did have a candidate last.
So
Submitted interest and then if you.
I don't see them here.
Okay.
Brian?
Oh, hello, Richard.
Yes, I didn't realize I had to actually be there. I'm sorry, I was having technical difficulties. I actually filled out to throw my name in the hat for the CDD board chair.
You're appointed to the board first, and then there's a process by which the board then assigns officer positions.
But feel free to present yourself to the board and why you would want to join the CDD board.
So, my name is Richard Bollum. I live in the Springs. I've been here for almost 2 years. I feel to have a new, I'll say, set of eyes on the community, just looking at it from an outside perspective and hearing a lot of the people that live here and just around the community, just walking and talking to different people and all their issues and stuff, to try to bring, again, try to get the gate. I know the gate's a thing that we've been harping on forever, but I'm a homeowner here. The gate's one of my biggest concerns, and I'd love to try to get that somehow either pushed back or resolved. Again, I've managed 2 hotels for probably about 13 years. Know how to get the contracts going, know how to hold people to the fire. I mean, an instance of landscaping in this community, I think it's been horrible for the last 2 years. New company, I'm not impressed with at all. There's dead things all over the area. Mulch is still not laid everywhere where it should be. Just a lot of things that I feel that I could bring to the board to actually get things done.
Richard, thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Any questions for Richard Gordon?
Richard, I'd like to ask you, how many board meetings have you attended in the last 12 months? I
will say 5 or 6. it's when my work. You always do them in the morning. I work. And if I know the board meeting is coming and I'm actually have to be here, then I will be here and switch my day and get off of work. But my job is I have to be there to make money. And if I'm not there, I don't make money. So I try to listen in when I'm at work, and I can only listen in so long until the supervisor comes and says, get off your phone. And I said, okay, yes, sir. And I'm off the phone.
Thank you for those comments, Richard. We will be taking a vote momentarily. Any other candidates interested on the vacant board seat at this time? Yes, please.
So what my name is Brian Muir. I've been on the board in the past, and I had to resign a couple months ago due to family issues. They've been resolved now, and I'm very interested to be able to get back on board. To help out and keep things moving forward, with the amazing progress that the board has been making. Over the last 12 months, it's been fantastic. So, love to be considered.
Thank you. Any questions for Brian Murray?
I don't think that any of us have any questions because we already know what he has to
I
offer.
think Supervisor England had his hand up. Supervisor England?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see
No.
that.
You have to see the agenda.
We just took a motion to include the vacant board seat onto the agenda right now.
Here's an ad, and the regular process.
It had been posted, the vacant board seat had been publicly posted, correct?
So yeah,
It was on the website, is my, I don't facilitate that.
in the previous meeting, it was, and then the board decided to table it for further discussion.
Okay. And I apologize, I wasn't here. So the last meeting, I had a doctor's appointment, so I appreciate your patience and for this.
And we had spoken to the board that at any given meeting, the vacant board seat could be voted upon. So there was that knowledge put out there. To your point, Supervisor Nealon, we did just amend the agenda, and the updated amended agenda will be posted on the website after this meeting.
Most of you question, like, do we process this as a regular process? We can place an ad and then.
The board could choose as procedure to re-advertise the vacancy if that's the board's direction to staff. Yes, that can be redone. It can be done month over month until the board fills the vacancy. In an ideal world, this is not legally required, but it would stay posted on our website as a vacancy until the vacancy is filled. This seat 3 does have a term that expires in November of this year, so this will be, in terms of an appointment, a short tenure. This is not a 4-year term, a 2-year term. This is strictly to the end of the existing seat term. At which point this seat will actually transition to general election, has transitioned to general election. So whoever would like to fill this vacancy in the fall needs to qualify in some time through the supervisor of the elections office. So you would need to be a qualified elector for seat 2. And I do appreciate that in this community, we do have quite a lot of folks that aren't necessarily citizens of the United States. That is a requirement for qualification. So that process really does help your folks know what the qualifications factors are, because we do have a bit of a unique situation in this community where we have a lot of active participants, but not necessarily qualified members.
Is the ad still open? The job vacancy is still.
The vacancy is the.
Still open on the website.
Vacancy. Yes.
Is it still posted like an application on the website, I think? Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, yeah.
President Elon? Is
Yeah.
it still posted? Is it still posted in the?
Let me verify.
The vacancy is still noted on their website under elections. The seat 3 is listed as vacant and the term is listed. Then you can see that seat 3 is still vacant on the website. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for those comments. At this time, would the board like to consider any of the candidates that have presented themselves today?
And just for the record, Richard online, Brian in person, you are citizens of the United States, 18 years of age or older, registered to vote in Polk County and residents of the district and the state of Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right.
So, how do we handle this? Do we,
It'd be a nomination and a second.
I'd like to nominate Brian Muir.
All right, I have a
I'll second the nomination of Brian Muir.
Supervisor Winker, a second from Supervisor Hyam. Nominating, Brian Mert for the vacant board seat. All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Opposed? Opposed was Supervisor Nealon for the record. Bear with me. All right, we have just want to confirm we have a 3-1 vote. At this time, Brian Mert, please join us on the board.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Procedurally, Brian does need to be sworn in, so that can either happen on record, or the board can take a few minutes recess,
Okay.
while staff handles those administrative.
Absolutely. Let's take a break while we.
Let's take a recess.
What
All
are we
right,
doing?
everybody on the call, we will be back momentarily.
There we go.
All right, we are back on the record on 10:47 a.m. And just to note for the record, we did swear in Supervisor Mertz on during recess, and he will be participating and voting in the agenda items to come. With that, we turn over to resolution 2026. Let me verify the last number that you're having on the agenda.
It'll be 2612.
2612. This will be just redesignating the board seats anytime a new board member comes back to the vacant board seat. This resolution is associated. So at this time, we'd be looking for nominations for chair, vice chair, and the other three board members will be assistant secretaries, along with myself, Scott Bresendine, your secretary, treasurer, Scott Bresendine, and assistant treasurer will be Sean Wildermuth. At this time, take nominations for chair position. Ryan? Have a nomination for Ryan Mertz. Any other?
I will second it if Brian is interested in resuming that.
Let's do it. So we have Supervisor Winker, a second from Supervisor Hyam. Nominating Supervisor Mertz to the chair position. All in favor?
Okay.
Opposed?
Bringing silent.
You can't abstain.
Yeah, one way or the other.
Yeah, in favor.
In favor? All right. So we have 4 in favor, 1 opposed, Supervisor Nealon for the record opposed. All right, motion carries. Nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate myself to go back into the vice chair role.
All right, so we have a nomination from Supervisor, or a motion from Supervisor.
I'll second that.
We have a second from Supervisor Winker. Nominating Supervisor Hyam to the vice chair. All in favor? Opposed? We have 4 and opposed 1, Supervisor Nealon. All right, motion passes. So your vice chair will be Supervisor Hyam, and your chair will be Supervisor Mertz. And the motion passes. Wonderful.
Do we have a third position?
Assistant secretary.
Yes.
Supervisors. So
Oh, so all three of
all
us?
three will be
Oh.
assistant secretaries.
Okay.
And then we would need a motion to approve resolution 2026-12 with the officer position assigned as stated.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution with officer roles as stated.
Second.
Motion from Supervisor Hyam, a second from Supervisor Winker. All in favor? Opposed? Opposed, Supervisor Nealon. All right, motion carries approving resolution 2026-12 as stated. Thank you.
And before we go on, I do just want to do a really quick high level overview. I know you've heard me give this spiel before, but welcome back to the board. A few things to still be mindful of as we go into your new season is a few main areas of law that will now apply to you. Sunshine law simply states that all district business must be done in the sunshine. So at a notice of public meeting, we're at a workshop in the town hall, like you are aware of. Please do not talk to your supervisors about district business outside of these publicly noticed meetings. This includes social media, phone calls, text messages, emails, anything of that nature, smoke, pigeon, code, Snapchat.
Secret note.
Speaking of the WhatsApp chat, let's be really careful about the WhatsApp chat. As you know, we can have some issues that comes up with that with multiple supervisors interacting there as well as social media as well, public records, unless there's a specific exemption. All documents and all communications that are related to this position are public records, so they can be requested as you are aware. Ethics, as a public officer, you are subject to the same ethics laws as city and county officials. Don't take bribes, don't do things that can personally benefit you, that can violate those provisions, and otherwise just welcome back to the board.
30 days, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, if you could send me and Giovanni an email or something.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll make a note, just on myself, just in case, and,
Thank you for welcoming back.
Brian,
yeah, which one? Oh.
Jeez, man.
All right, you want to wait?
It's okay.
Okay. That's what. All right, so there was a request for a district engineer to move up to the agenda. So Bobby, just before we consider the insight, we're gonna hear from Greg. Greg, let's get to your section here.
Sure. First on the agenda under my report is the utility box painting request. I have reached out to the county and talked with their traffic manager, and she said that we cannot paint the traffic boxes associated with the signals out there, but generally the electrical company will allow you to paint the electrical boxes. But you will need to get authorization from the electrical companies to be able to do that. So what I would just suggest is have the on-site folks give them a call and just verify that we can paint their boxes.
We gotta reach out to the utility company, Greg, that's what you said?
Yes,
You might
sir.
work-
Yep.
I know in the past, when we did the boulevard, our staff is painted. So I believe that we already had that, Joe will have to check with them, but I believe we already have it, we can paint for the inside, so there. The Bray is the one that paints them, so maybe ask him who told him.
We can reach out to you, for that request. Okay. So, Karen, just to keep you, Supervisor Winker, just to keep you posted, for the painting. So we'll reach out to Duke Energy and see if they're okay with our proposal.
wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, Greg, back to you on the speed humps, review that I had sent you over. Any thoughts?
So yes, I did reach out to the traffic engineer, Amy at Polk County, and regarding the speed hump installation, and Polk County has a pretty long, lengthy process for traffic calming devices and adding those. But Amy with Polk County did say since the roads are owned by the CDD and maintained by the CDD, that we could add these speed humps. One thing that she did say is that she would like us to prepare a plan showing the signage and markings as well as where it's going to be placed and send that over to her. But it looks like something that we can get done pretty quickly. There are two locations on page 172 of your agenda. There is a parking exhibit, and in that parking exhibit, it does show a speed hump that was requested before the entrance to the clubhouse, and a second one that was shown on Solterra Boulevard between Misty Oak Circle and Broad Oak. And there was also a reference in that same exhibit
Installed.
to install two additional stop signs to make a four-way stop. I did talk with the county regarding that as well, and they again would like us to prepare a plan showing the locations of where they're going to be located and submit that to them. But as of right now, they're saying that a formal submittal is not required.
So, Greg, those speed bumps, speed tables rather,
And the
that are
four-way
listed,
stop
that
sign.
we're being told are already installed, and I can confirm because I did drive a little on those
Okay.
speed
Okay.
But it's not
So-
sufficient to slow down the traffic on the boulevard. So we're asking for additional.
All right, where, just so that I have an idea, just an approximate location, if somebody could just send me approximate location of where you would like to have them, and then we'll fit them in there based on distances and utilities and so on in the area.
So real quick on this note, typically the process that I've followed for the speed humps, we would have an on-site meeting with the engineer. And we would kind of do a walkthrough of all the areas that we're thinking that we would like to put some, speed humps, speed tables, whatever we decide. And then we would bring those locations to the board for consideration, make sure that everybody has, an opportunity to note any additional speed humps or think too much. And then once the final rendering is approved, then we start soliciting the bids, for the speed humps in all the locations. That's usually how it goes, so.
Okay, what about the secondary streets that we were talking about last month, Greg?
Yeah, we can also install speed humps on those streets. There again, we do like to put them on straightaways where, to break up long straightaways so that the speeding is cut in half at least on those straightaways. But there again, if there are additional areas, then Brian is right. We probably should meet on site to review those areas and come up with a plan to install them.
I've got a quick question. In your experience, how difficult is it to install traffic signals at intersections, and how costly is it?
It's very
Just check.
costly. Yeah, it's very costly, and it's generally not the asphalt that costs the money. It's the utilities and relocations and irrigation for that area and landscaping to put back. So it's all of that put together. It's very costly.
Can you quantify costly?
Like ballpark?
Yeah, like, are we talking? Yeah, it's just.
If I had to guess, maybe 150 to 200,000.
That's not costly, that's why I was asking.
So we'd be in a public bid scenario and all
Yeah.
likelihood, so there would be those additional administrative costs for the board to consider. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking ahead in case speed bumps don't do the trick. There are a couple of intersections. I mean, that would definitely stop people from, from doing whatever they're doing. So it was just
Thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Supervisor Bell might be.
Yeah, regarding the humps. Is there a scientific process that they're following usually, because there should be enough distance between one hump to the other hump, otherwise it's going to create a challenge for the easy flow of the cars. So when you go do that, like, evaluation, is like any engineer or any traffic management person who can kind of guide you in the process?
So yeah, typically what we'll do is we'll meet with the engineer on site, we'll propose the locations, and then the engineer will oversee what we are thinking to begin with, and then make his professional observation. To your point, like, hey, this is a little too crowded, you need to spread this out a little bit more. And Greg will make sure that everything is within roadway compliance and is appropriate to, traffic regulations to ensure we're not trying to damage vehicles, we're just trying to slow down traffic.
And also, especially at the corners, like, taking the turns and all. There are some people, like, I don't know, they noise or not, they just put the humps, but actually that creates an additional challenge. Or someone is turning the left side, otherwise in the right side, like, it creates a messy situation there.
Yes.
So those are all those things done in the scientific process, right?
Yes, so in the initial process, that's after we get all of our locations marked out, Greg will do a final review to make sure that we're not basically putting anybody in jeopardy. So, yeah. So with that, I know Supervisor Boissard is our representative for, parking and gates. I would recommend taking a motion to have Supervisor Boissard work with staff, plan an on-site meeting with the engineer to review all these locations. And then in our next board meeting, we will bring those locations to the board's review and approval.
But to make a motion, sorry.
Go ahead, I'll second it.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to have Supervisor Vassar continue this further and prepare a presentation.
Wonderful. So
Okay,
a motion from
second that
Supervisor Mertz and a second from Supervisor Hines. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Greg, I will put us in an email and then we can coordinate some dates that works for everybody.
Sounds great.
Just gotta make some quick notes. Greg, back to you on updates for the playground removal.
So I did look into the playground removal, and I believe at the last meeting, the board was looking into having residents remove that playground or have volunteers remove that playground. In the past, I've removed a few playgrounds, and generally the removal of the playground is done with some heavy equipment. A lot of times these playgrounds have large concrete footings on them, and it can be dangerous and heavy to have residents moving that stuff around. Generally for the removal of the playground, a permit is not required. We have just removed one in Polk County from another community, but installing a new one or something else back there would require a permit depending on what we want to put there. So that's kind of my thoughts in regards to the playground project.
Very good. So, Greg, what I'm working with Supervisor Hine, our liaison for the amenities, we're looking to remove the structure entirely, and we're going to be considering adding that as a additional section for some cabana rentals and just some VIP rentals in that area to coincide with our F&B venture. Fire pit,
Possibly
sand. Well, actually, sand's already there, so.
stands there, staging for events. So it's a space that I think
Deanna, do you want to just pull out the rendering since
yeah,
it's on the record and we're discussing it, and we can share kind of the potential vision as a revenue generating model, because I agree we need a playground for the children, but the the playground is not a revenue generating amenity.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, outside of Jewish holidays, it doesn't get very highly utilized. I think if it puts in a more visible location, and I'm proposing to relocate it to the field behind Parasinesta, along with a future dog park, and create that into like a community park area, it would be more highly utilized. And we can pull this very valuable real estate into the amenities to increase the size of the amenities and further generate additional revenue for future projects and reducing some special assessments as we move on this new adventure.
So, with that, as long as there's no opposition towards those plans, I can work with, district engineer and Supervisor Pine to repurpose that area effectively, get some, reputable vendors to, remove the current structure and then start moving in this direction.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Do you see this happening all in like one big swoop, or like stage one, remove the playground and then maybe just keep the sand there?
Yes.
And then stage two, figure out what's next? What do you recommend happening?
I think that we remove the playground, we, look at what our, budget is gonna be in terms of creating this new space, maybe have, Brian and Joe work on putting together an estimated cost, and I'm figuring this is probably not gonna happen until next year.
What? What could issue? I'm just curious.
yeah, it
What you saw.
depends on the,
It
it
just
depends on the class.
Yeah.
We have to go in.
It's
With the additional seat, we see additional capacity.
Yes.
At the club.
Yes. That's
No, capacity, capacity or.
Everything for the amenity center.
I don't know if it'll impact our like max capacity, but in general, we'll just have more
We'll
stage.
have a staging
Yeah.
area. I don't think the building's capacity is going to be changed.
Well, not the building itself, but for the entire complex. As the.
We'll have space to put folks, but it won't change the current capacity, my understanding of your existing facilities. It will add capacity to your existing facilities by adding a new.
by adding space.
Right.
And then it'd be.
So are you saying that the fire department won't recognize the additional usable square footage?
We'll have to ask for that.
We might have to ask for that,
We would have to ask.
Yeah.
to increase overall capacity.
I don't want to excite anybody's anticipation by saying yes without having actually.
Sure.
That's possible.
Well, we could certainly find out.
Okay.
attached to the pool area?
It's out here where the playground is now.
But you'd have to submit plans to the health department to give you more people on the deck and
Right.
and the fire department.
Nice.
And supervisor, I just also would like to point out, if we're thinking about relocating the playground to that area, would obviously want Greg to find to make sure that open space, is it any type of like a conservation area or an open space requirement under, the planned or wetland?
I think we've looked at that
Okay.
previously, and the only impediment that we had to developing that area was the lack of infrastructure, no utilities, no
Right.
water, no power.
Right.
So that's why
We just have irrigation water out there, yeah.
I don't even think we have irrigation.
Which spring is out there?
We do.
Oh, nice. We have irrigation water out there.
So, and drainage was the other issue. So, because we have talked about doing things over there in the past.
Right.
Yeah, and we were limited not by, statute or anything else, but by budget
Yeah.
and infrastructure.
Yeah, Jamie had brought us the previous proposal.
So that's why I think a playground and a dog park are ideal, centrally located. Right now, kids from the Springs are the ones who predominantly would be using the playground. And, they're using the one at Villatine. So we have something.
Can we pass this around to?
But on this one, it's covered.
Okay.
But I think the dog park and, and the,
Yeah, so let me run with Supervisor Ryan on this. Yes, Supervisor.
You got a chance to give this, right?
The drawing? No, I have not seen this rendering this year.
So once you get it, I have a couple of questions, maybe we can put it for later, because if there is an exit and entry point connected to this one, then additional permits to be taken as we suggested.
Yes, yes. I'll be reviewing all of those requirements, yes. Okay. Let me make a quick note, Supervisor, meanwhile. All right, wonderful.
I have a question.
Is that gonna include that empty spot by the volleyball court?
No, just the area that's already fenced in, it's already closed.
And you'll continue to have that area fence between there and the pole, they won't have a.
Correct.
There will be a gate between the main pool area and that space, but there won't be one from the outside. We'll just move the gate entrance to a.
There's a problem look at is maybe having that because of the sand, but we had it in
We
winter.
might have to get one of those water
Something,
great
because-
things.
Yeah, we
That you want.
they had it and the sand in the pool was just
Mhm.
really.
Yeah.
We were servicing 3 times a
So we
day.
probably need one of those sprinkler things that you walk
Something,
through.
or just maybe slide the sand part back a little bit, so as they walk on the concrete, it taps their feet, it comes off before they get to the pool.
We will definitely involve your expertise
Yeah.
so that we can make sure we're not creating problems.
Yeah, that's because you'll have to increase your service and do, but yeah, the water thing is a good idea, you can get that set up. Again, you have to clean that thing out every day just with a pound, but either way it worked, just, yeah, we did it with the cane and they couldn't get rid of it. And so we had to gate everything in to stop, because the kids would pick it up.
Well, there won't be kids allowed in that space.
Right, gotcha, so all right, and because you're renting that in, so it'll be, yeah, maybe better issue.
But thank you, I appreciate that.
Initial statement. So we'll be working on bringing those plans to the board, so look out for them, all right? All right. Greg, anything else for the board?
I think that's all I've got today.
All right, anything for your district engineer before we get back to the normal agenda? No, hearing none. Greg, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Frank.
We do appreciate you. Feel free to jump off when you're ready.
All right, thank you all. Have a great day.
You
Happy
too.
New Year.
All right, so getting back to community updates, we do have pool service updates. We'll be discussing the lazy river heating options. And we did already solicit our RFP for the pool resurface. So that is underway. We've already received a couple of bid inquiries coming in. So we've been working with Simon on those. This Simon is the owner of Resort Pool Services, our new pool provider, and he will be presenting some of these options for us today. Great. Simon.
So Jeff, meeting, for pool and river. I spoke to India and they gave me a rough estimate, about 350,000 pool and 350,000 for the river. They can drill one
What are
well.
we talking about? Are we talking about the
Heating.
No, no, heating is not. Yeah,
It says Peter Pool on the
So-
qualifications and the total pricing, it says Peter Purple Pool, like purple.
have you put here in the RFP, the scope for the RFP?
It's in it's on page 23 of the packet.
Bear with me for the pool use service.
Yeah.
You're saying on the project manual it includes heating?
Yes.
Okay,
Only one supervisor has requested for full heating to the lazy river.
Because you've only got one company you can do.
Right.
So,
We can't talk about it.
it's understood. I
I didn't
didn't,
say heater pool per pool,
Right.
but the main pool is already heated, so it would just be the lazy river.
so we can't talk about this. All right, disregard conversations for the heating. Apologies for that. We will go through the bid process and have this discussion. Where's the back? Thank you, council. Just general services, I know we're gonna be considering some of those turnover items that we discussed. Can you tell us how the transition went?
so yeah, everything's been good. I think Joan actually, hopefully be seeing things a bit quicker now. They message me, something's here in 30 minutes. But a couple of things, just with new computers that just take a bit of time for them to calibrate, but everything seems to be going good. One thing, speaking to Brian about is possibly making you to 7 day week. So we had a couple of calls because the call was doing on the Sunday and we had service on the Sunday. If you wanted to go up to the Sunday, it'd be an additional £500 a month, that's a phase of labour. Nothing changes for chemicals and everything's already included, it's just additional service. If you wanted to have Sunday, we do 6 days a week all year now, which is more than what you have anyway. If you wanted the addition for the Sunday.
So with that, we noticed that over the last month, there's been some callbacks on the 7th day that we currently don't have services for. And it's minor, I would imagine it's like leaves blue in the pool and stuff like that. Typically winter is a little slower, which, it's normal to see a little decrease. I know in the Memorial Day to Labor Day, we have the 7 days, but, from your opinion, do you think that having 7 days benefits the operation, or can we get by?
Again, I think we can get by. I definitely get benefits because everybody, it's kind of unanimous that everybody thinks the pool is looking way better. I mean, the clarity is really good. So, in terms of if that guest arrives on that 7th day and sees debris in the pool, then they go, I don't know, this is clean, it's clean as it should be or something else. But again, I think we can,
But it does also add to the longevity of the service.
right.
So your main thing is that the two things we should look at. One, state requires you to have 7 day week testing. Does everybody have it? No. Should you have it? Yes. You can use anybody to test. I don't recommend it because you become responsible for that day. If you have a resident that tested for you on Sunday.
There's a minute.
Yeah, and you can use staff or whatever. But they become responsible for that day. And yes, obviously at the moment, I mean, you're probably going to be resurfacing soon or anything, but after the resurface, yes. I send the guys in anyway on Sunday. They come and check the chemicals. I don't charge you for that. I send the guys on the 7th day because one day you can turn that spark down. The pool, not so much, it's not so busy, but I pay for the guys coming on the Sunday and he just checks everything. And I've said, if it is dirty, clean it, and then I'll talk to Joe and that about charging. But obviously, with you guys, it's an option, to have 7 days a week, then that option's there. If you wanted to do it, we can give you a proposal to do that.
And supervisors, just so you know, the current contract for, Memorial Day through Labor Day is 7 times per week, and then any time outside of that is 6 days a week. So basically, summer, 7 days, rest of the year is 6.
Right, that makes sense. Just a quick question, I don't know if I'm Go ahead.
You already started talking.
Just stepping up, stepping back a little bit, we can discuss the pool heater, right? But just generally speaking, if we did not coincide with the lazy river, for the pool service, I know they're possible, but I wanted to know how long would, if we decided to postpone that to a later date for budget reasons, how long would the lazy river be out of commission just for the purposes of installing heaters? No deals.
We can't.
We have a schedule from proposers to give you all those options as far as timelines, so that can be part of the board's evaluation.
Right.
As far as, do we shut down, one amenity, leave another open? Yes, there may not be cost savings, but there could be benefit to users by having some amenity available, or does the board want the option to shut everything down at once, fix everything at once? And then that becomes a true board decision. But that timeline, schedule of values is part of what you should be receiving in proposals.
Thank you so much.
And we included the pricing to be held for 1 year, so if we do have to stagger it.
Prior to,
So it could be, the payment could be staggered.
Then the pricing will be held, whatever the bid pricing is for 1
Oh,
year.
I see.
So that you exercise these options, if you want to do pool first, leave the lazy river open, you still have lazy river pricing held for up to 365 calendar days.
Vice versa.
And vice versa.
so prior to Simon coming in and doing the pools, how many days a week did we have pool service?
You would have, it would have been almost the exact same, so you probably could have an off season of 6, then go to 7, and then 7 on 7. The difference is that you had 2 CPOs on staff, and they were helping to fill kind of the quality void by backwashing, frequently and doing a lot of things, whereas, thus far, they've been extremely responsive and helpful with that. So I think you can make it through. I don't know if we want to have, because again, if it's 7 days for your heavy times of the season, and you've already got that, I don't know that every single week you're gonna go out to that pool and see on that 7th day that there's a need for something. So could there not be a small, tiny stipend for emergence? Where it's like, okay, today something's up, and then that way I can kind of coordinate it based on what we're seeing.
Do we still have 2 certified pool operators on staff?
You do. Technically, you have 3 with 1.
Well, we already did have an emergency fee already built into the contract, right?
Yes.
That if we need.
Yeah,
It was like $200.
The hard thing with Sundays is getting somebody.
Is getting somebody
So
here.
at the moment, I have somebody come here because I don't want to, I know nobody's testing it on the Saturday. So we're already here, and me just to bring a guy in just to test is no big deal. It keeps everybody's safe and legal. That's my main thing. As for the pool being, that I don't particularly want to send a guy here because it costs money.
Yeah.
It's expensive to do a Sunday, but as a result, and you obviously you have people stay here. If it is dirty, like Danny called me the other Sunday, and I threw somebody here, they didn't get here till 10:30, I think it was. So, that's the difference.
I just have one question. At resorts like Disney or Universal, are they checking the pool every day?
3 times a day.
3 times a day?
But again, I've said that, so Disney can be ran by really, it's still ran by really reserve, and they all work, Disney owns really reserve. So DeSantis wants to pull really reserve fully out and have it tested by the health department, because the health department don't test. So if you actually, we've been there and we tested, and they're like 16 parts chlorine, and that's just how those things work, because they're so big, they look after themselves. But they're gonna be looked after by everything. So they do 3 days, 3 times a day. You're only legally required by the health department to check every day, once a day before you open it. That's the only requirement.
So I would say that since you all have been here, I walk up here many times a day, usually early in the morning before the amenity center opens. And previously, I never saw anybody working on servicing on the pools, but since you all have been here, almost every day that I come up here at 7:30 or so in the morning, I see your team up here working on the pool. So thank you for that. It just leaves me to question, were we really getting what we were paying for in the past? So I appreciate that, but, do we just need to make a motion to modify the contract then to add the 7 days for $500 a month? Is that what we're talking
It
about?
used to be 500 a month. We only do, so we do 16 weeks, right? Labor Day to Memorial Day.
It's 7.
So that's the 17 weeks, so that's the, so 4 months. So you've got the 8 months, 500.
July, August, September.
Yeah, but
5 months.
So the reason we didn't see before, the previous are coming like,
Supervisor,
oh, you've got like headlights and stuff. I've seen them on.
Supervisor, we would be amending our current scope. Simon did in his original proposal include the 7th day as an option.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we would amend the scope with legal and then, you know, we can move into 7 days a week rather than.
Okay, I'll just make a motion to,
You would split 8,000 over 12 months.
8,000.
Sorry, 4,000 over 12 months, right? It's eight months, you don't have 7 days. You have 4 months, which is Labor Day and Memorial Day.
Math apply, so they just gonna pull the contract.
Okay.
We're just gonna amend the scope.
Well, that amends that.
So,
Yes.
yeah, June,
But you need to know.
so it's $500 a month for those 8 months,
yeah, it's
basically.
June, July, August, September is your 7 days. The other 8 months is your 6 days. So you're 500 a month for
It
the
would
8.
be $9,500 per month. Based on bid proposal that was previously for 7 times a week service all year long, including our chemicals.
9,500 a month.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
So you're doing 9,000 pounds.
I think we will.
Yeah, so I've done that long. So we need to do 4,000 divided over 12 months. The $4,000 over 12 months.
300 something.
300
something.
Yeah, it's $333.33.
Yeah, so call it 330 extra, so 9,330 a month from now, and that will give you your 7 days a week all year, and we'd have to give you a new contract and so I'd have to send you a proposal. So,
So it would be an additional $300 per month,
330.
$330 per month.
Only, so your contract will now go from 9,000 to 930 for the 12 months.
9,330.
I would like to make a motion to go ahead and do that based on the conversation and Simon's expert recommendations based on the pool testing, et cetera.
All right, so we have a motion from Supervisor Ryan to amend the scope as stated, including pricing.
Second, that's.
Second from Supervisor Myrt. All in
The
favor?
pool does look so much better than it did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can we table this? Are we able to table this? Because $330, I don't know, he gave, some speech about it, but I'm not sure, understanding where we are today.
I think we have a motion.
Let me just, let him just speak. We do have a motion, but let's get his comments on the team.
Thank you, in the peak season, we are in 7 days. Having the 7 days is, for the rest of the off season is for $330, maybe if there is a discount, we can do it, but it's on the same cost, in my point,
Sure.
just for 1 day.
No, thank you for those comments. So, took those comments. I did have a 3 vote. I'm still taking a vote because I haven't finished the motion. Opposed?
Yes.
Okay, so we currently have a 3-2. Opposed is Supervisor Boissard.
Can we hear from Supervisor Borsard?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bobby, what are your thoughts?
Just an additional cost, we've never had the 7 days, we have 2 certified pool operators on the staff that are capable of testing the water themselves here. And I just don't feel as if the additional fund expenditure would be worth it, and we're already paying staff that are capable to legally test the water.
From my standpoint, I think, just keeping the pool in a optimal standpoint is super important. That's what people are paying for. That's why people are coming. That's why they're having a great time. So, I mean, if Disney's doing it 3 times a day and we're doing it 1 time a day.
I think the other, so I've always said this. I've got a driving license, but I can't drive a car. CPO is very easy to get hold of. It doesn't teach you how to use the computers and everything, but you have out there that monitors the chemicals. So again, if it was something you were deciding against, I'd be happy to train them how to use the computers, but they're technical. They're set up in order to keep everybody safe. So in the ones that you had prior to us,
they disconnected all the placements in computers. So which is easy to do if you know what you're doing. With us, if you look on the computers, there's a green and a red light, there's a white closing with a spinning thing. And on the light, it's white, it's red or green. So if it's red, it's that you're working, if it's green. And the CPO guys are calling us now when things are green. So things that that a CPO doesn't mean you know what you're doing, it means you're starting to pass the test, the same as a driving test. And it tells you how much chemical to add, depending on the size of the fault. It doesn't teach you how to use the computers in order to correct the computers, if that makes sense. So the CPO is a very broad thing. It teaches you what to do, and anybody can clean a fault. If you go out and you see a leak in it, a 5-year-old can clean a fault. The chemicals is what your main issue is, and the previous company used computers to do part of that. So the CPO side, yeah, I get it, and they can test it. Now, you could do an alternative way where they test, and if it's wrong, they call, and we send somebody out. You can't open until your chemicals are right, where obviously we fix everything while we're here, and we can see if something's going to go wrong. You know, like you guys and your jobs, a lot of the time it's like, if you have somebody new, they're told like X, Y, Z happens, and then that's okay. But for you, you can see that X, Y, Z is about to go wrong and prevent that from happening. So the health department states your 7-day-a-week testing. The main issue really is it's not the testing, it's balancing off the computers to make sure you're not adding too much chemical. If you calibrate it wrong, that calibration can pump 15 gallons of acid into the pool and you could learn something. So it's the computers more really than anything else. Plus you're getting an additional clean, you know, on that Sunday, which is what that is. And as a result, you know, for the people that are paying to come here, you know, most results are 7 days a week, at least 7 days a week testing. But it's not the CPO, it's the computer, which is really the issue that you're trying to mitigate, you know.
So I appreciate, you know, everyone who's, you know, watching, and is watching the dollars and being careful about things. I think one thing that we have to be considerate of is the fact that the health department does require 7 days a week. And this is a public venue, public record. And I would be loath to be the person who is voting for us not to adhere to.
Well, but you're not, you voted in favor. So it's funny.
I'm just saying, generally speaking, I would.
Let's make sure we're focusing on our own.
Yes, so that's.
I mean,
that's the reason for my vote. One of the reasons for my vote is that this is required by health department.
So we do have a 3-2 vote.
I will.
So, okay, so, motion passes amending the pool services and pricing as stated to take our services to 7 days a week for 12.
Updated proposal, just that we can include as a
You
contract.
want an addendum to that, or you want to propose?
Whichever one works for you.
I think a proposal, like get people forward with everything,
It'll
and
make it
it's,
clean.
we doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate that because, you know, I'm a nurse and I am ACLS certified advanced cardiac life support. Can I run a code on somebody? Absolutely not.
Yeah, it is very difficult, it is very difficult because it is, you know, and I don't foresee you guys really getting an increase next year, you know, and just so you guys understand, the chemicals we were called per gallon, so we know exactly what we're using every day. So when we get to the end of the year, we can say, hey, look, we actually didn't use as much as what we do, so we can reduce our cost, which we do together with the company. But yeah, we monitor everything, the computer monitors, the chemicals are monitored, so.
And your contract, you pay for the chemical, right? Or we
The
say,
chemicals are all included into one thing, and
you
then,
only know one to get the spies.
It's a one flat.
yeah. And then I don't charge you, like Joe and Andy called me out a few times, I don't charge you. You know, if it's during normal working hours, we have somebody with 30 minutes now, most people would charge you $150 every time just to come out, when it's their fault. But I don't charge you for our little trips we do. Yeah, so you're balancing.
And reference.
Okay, and
There's a member of the audience that would like to speak.
this is not a time for public comments. There is a time towards the back end of the section
Okay.
that I would recommend. Please feel free. We'd love to hear from you. But the board is always liable if you would like to open up for public record.
Is any other additional costs included in the agreement with the pool services?
No,
Any other additional costs other than what is?
The computers are all my responsibility.
Mhm.
The only things that were to be discussed were
the pressure washing of
the pumps and the repairs
Yes.
that we put through, but the computers are everything mine. So my initial investment out there, one, two, three, is $12,000 for the computers. So that my initial, before you even pay me a dollar, there's $12,000, well, that's $18,000 out there right now with computers and chemical pumps, to get you guys rolling for now. So, yeah, and the computers are there to, you know, if you look at the chemicals, our chemicals are like this rather than, this is what you, I mean, I've been here and quoted this pool 4 times, and every time I come here, there's never chlorine in the pool. And it's just people dumping chemicals in the tanks in the morning and then by the end of the day, and that's how it works. The computers are good for the summer because of how busy we get, but I'm pretty sure we will have to give a second visit. And I won't charge you for the second visit, you know. So through the pumps and the chemicals and. It turns it on and off, so it says like, just make it easy, the ORP, which you can't calibrate, is 800. And it says, well, if you get to 790, I need chemicals, so it would pump quickly and get you back up to 800. And then it cuts off again, so it knows if, like now, nobody's in the body, so the ORP won't drop because the chemicals disappear into your body, not into the sky. So the more people that swim, so just so so for chemical understanding, in the winter I spend about $100,000. In the summer I spend about $250,000 a month. So because more people are swimming.
I actually don't think I'd read weekly here.
No, so I can come back and show you a test one day. So if you put a bowl of water and put your hand and test it, it'll be 2 parts. Put your hand in it and see nothing.
Oh,
All in your hand, so.
Yeah, so to answer your question, Supervisor England, there's no additional costs, for these services, the general services. The only additional cost would be an emergency. So let's say hurricane, whoever comes through and they have to come to shut down the pool, things like that, that would be an additional cost. Or after hours operation, hey, some kid vomited in the pool, we gotta shut it down, they gotta come out clean it. That would be an additional cost. And then pressure washing of the stones, that would be an additional cost. Big service for the pool maintenance, chemicals, all that is your fixed rate.
Speaking of this pressure washing for the stones, did we have that in here somewhere
We've
today?
been working with Simon on that. Did we get a bid already?
I haven't sent one, I've got, where did I send that? I've got the figure, I think we said, we threw a figure out and said, you guys happy with that? I need to send an actual proposal for it.
it's within my spend.
Okay.
So I approved it because it's a pretty low cost for what it is they're doing. So we're planning it for a morning so that they can go and get it.
That's right,
Get
that's
it
right.
done.
Okay,
Yeah, it's like, to the end.
Couple $100.
yeah.
Yeah, a couple $100.
When it's scaled, the 18th.
Now, just a note for that, so expectations, Simon had talked to me, he's gonna clean it, it's gonna look good, but it's not gonna look brand new sparkling white. So just so everybody knows, it's just gonna be
To
clean.
look white because it's rocky.
Right, so,
Yeah, and I don't know what's actually going to come off when we start doing it, so we may have to do like a follow-up pressure wash to kind of do maybe some deeper detailing, and we can keep an eye on the weather at the moment, we've got a real cold day coming, we can just close it down and, do it.
Do we have a time frame on it and time frame for the subsequent installation of the sign? Because I'm super excited about that.
The sign.
the sign.
So the sign, again,
Oh, the Solterra sign.
yeah,
Oh,
the COI W9 stuff, that's all what they're handling, getting my knowledge, they're handling, getting everything in terms of deposit there, and then the fabrication will be underway. The fabrication is only supposed to be about a week period, and they'll schedule kind of the install.
got you. Oh, yeah, I recall this. All
So
right.
potentially by the end of the month?
I would say yes. Let me make sure, they only need their deposit.
Before I
They
get
only
back
need their
from
deposit, that's,
Yeah,
okay.
where is the sign going?
It's gonna go,
on the water
On the
pond.
rock, yeah, the rocks.
I think the rock's gonna run over it.
no, it's gonna be on a bracket.
It should theoretically run under it based on the render.
I'll send you.
I have a photo on my
We
phone.
may have to do additional cleaning on that because you're gonna get calcium buildup
Yeah.
on the front of it when it splashes, when it's windy and stuff. And you need to just keep up with that. I can give you a product to actually do it, you guys can do it, so.
And we could do those a la carte, every 6 months, if we got to spray off the sign, something like that.
Remember.
Before we finish the pool, so you do have 3 proposals on tab 10, I believe. Let me confirm that. On tab 10 that are pool related to the transition, 11, thank you.
Yeah, well,
11, tab 11. So these proposals we had discussed during the transition. Both teams were to meet on property and review basically everything we needed to transition. So this isn't new items, this is just your new vendor took over and this is what, was needed. So for estimates, 1292 from Resort Pools for 4050 for the center pumps, those have already been installed. The reason why it hasn't been approved yet, I was working with Supervisor Neelam on this, and we had requested SPEs to sell us, if they would consider selling us our old center pumps. They have not sent us any quote. They did request if we wanted a new center pump, but they have not given us any type of pricing for our old units and have not responded even after a follow-up. So,
Is it still on the lease?
what was that?
Is that still on the lease? Lease or contract or something?
Is that on a lease?
No,
Oh, is it on-
no,
no.
it's expensive. I include your computer as part of my service. So where before you was doing, you pay for your chemicals, a lease for the computer and the standard pumps, and then that, but by law, not you are required, you should own your own standard pumps. Because if I leave,
That's a,
you are responsible for the maintenance of chemicals in this there. So as a community, you should always have the standard pumps, but the computer, it doesn't matter who supplies the computer, the computer provides power to the standards. But the standards you should always be responsible for because you have to have something that beats chemicals, regardless of the cat. So you should always be responsible. Now, the standard pumps should last 4 or 5 years. Here maybe a little bit shorter, just certainly on the resort pool because of the amount of times they're gonna, they would be pumping sort of thing. But you should get 4 to 5 years. I cover all the tubes inside and the tubes outside. So the lines that feed to the pool from the chemical tanks are my responsibility. The chemical tanks are my responsibility. The chemicals inside them are my responsibility. And I replace the tube inside. A lot of companies charge you £100 every time the tubes break, and they break every 6 months. So I don't. I just install. So you don't have those maintenance costs. The standard pump, again, we have them outside, so they don't damage anything inside the cabin. So if you've seen outside, they have a lid, and a lot of the time they put the chemicals inside. I have everything outside, including the computers. So no leaks. There's only 2 points that it can leak inside, like 4, which maintains all your pumps and everything inside. But yes, you guys should be responsible for your own standard pumps. Because if I was to go, like, you haven't paid me for 3 months, I'm leaving, I'm taking anything, then you would have to pay us because you have no standard pumps.
right.
so that's the, the main point with SPEs. They kind of like lease it into their program. Now we own them. So if we ever transition pool vendors now, those are ours. So we won't have to go through this process.
So that pump has anyone that's we hire, right now we're hiring the sort of, so that even if something goes wrong with it, it is embedded in the services, right?
Well, it's under our pool equipment services. So let's say, there's also warranties, right?
You get a 1 year warranty.
Like,
Everything's 1 year.
Right.
So you get 1 year with the standard pumps. And then, again, I said to Brian, I would happily lease you the standard, but when we leave, you have to buy it. And so what you're doing now is you're buying them now, you're done. There's no lease payment, which I never knew the figure that you were, but I know what Speed's charging for it. But I didn't know what your chemical charge is and what your labour charges were for the pool guy. So I'm kind of hoping I'm around the same as where you were before. You're just getting better service now and a better call rate if you need us. But the standard, and that's the thing, is that you're misadvised by the things that you should have on the site. I'm all for making more money, so I'd happily lease you them if you want to. But it's the wrong thing to do as a community. You should pay for them, have them, and they last
normally 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, you want a 2-year warranty on them, I'll give you 2-year warranty and those are 75%, and I'll cover them if they break them. Together.
That better?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take, so,
Done deal.
I will, we're not gonna consider it just yet, it's later on the agenda, I just wanted to bring this to the attention, we did discuss during the transition, there will be some additional costs.
Do we need to add that into the contract? Or
No,
do I need a document that says?
I'll put it on the, yeah, I'll put it on the proposal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, please document that also.
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna put it on here. So when we sign, it's gonna say 2-year warranty, we have it on record, we're good.
We'll see, please. They don't try to-
You want to put a service agreement together for it? Yeah, please. And then the other 2 proposals, Simon, from Speed.
Yeah, if I just.
Yeah.
Need to remember everything they had on there. So the, I know one of them was to repair a lot of the damage to the hinges that are out there. So if you can imagine those lids out there weigh probably close to 200 pounds. And underneath those lids is a 6-foot tank of water. I have seen it on too many occasions where those lids, they prop them up with a pole, it comes and hits them on the head, they fall in the tank, they die.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. And I brought this to our extension from day one, that this is something that needs to be fixed. So Speeds have given you a decent price on to do the work. And because you've done so much work with Speeds, I think it would be sensible to finish out everything with Speeds. So they are going to replace all the gas struts, which is, they hold up to 175 pounds. So as you lift them up, the lids are up and they're secure. Plus the hinges on the back, that's for the lazy river, for the pool, and I think that was it, just those 2. So that's, and the one in the river is even heavier and it's a bigger tank. So that was the proposals from Speed for those. And on the other one is to the auto bill. So the auto bill is what regulates the level of your water. At the moment, we're leaving water running all day long just to keep you somewhere close to where it is. So when the water is actually skimming properly, it takes the dirt from the top because dirt doesn't fall on the bottom of the pool, it falls on the top. And the idea is for the skimmers to pull the water over and to skim. So we do it very different to a lot of other companies. We close down the main drain to the bottom of the pool, and that makes the skimmer pull hard. So you're getting more water being circulated through the filters. So you don't have an autofill on there at the moment. So that was that. And yeah, they're going to do it in Schedule 80 pipe, which is stronger, which is better than using the 40. New tour valves, new floats for the lazy river and everything. And then going forward from there, we can maintain, the auto fills and stuff, because they charge like $400 for an auto fill, and I charge like 150, I think, or something.
So we need a motion to approve.
Not yet, just wanted to bring that to your attention. The reason, so Supervisor Nealon and I reviewed these during the transition, and we felt it best to bring these to the board's agenda before doing anything, any unilateral decision.
Well, the only thing that we can approve today is estimate 1292.
No, you're gonna be, so it is recommended that we approve all 3.
I have those up in here, though.
The speeds,
We don't have those. We only have the only
I see them
estimate we're
just scroll down.
on
On
page
tab 11.
240
off. I'm on
and
tab 11.
241.
Tab 11.
And actually, I've noticed that the lids are off.
Yeah, the lids are off, and the guys, obviously, when they back wash, they're pushing the lids up, and I am sending 2 guys at the moment, so one's holding it, one's watching the other one. And we put a pipe under it, even with the hinges on, to take some weight off.
Yeah.
But they're things. I'm very much not somebody that when you spend money unless you really have to. So anything I come to you with, it needs to be.
Okay.
And we take care of that stuff.
Well,
You know, obviously,
yeah,
okay.
that's double.
Okay, I can do that. So we'll be considering that in the back end. I just wanted to keep the expert, so I wanted to have that knowledge brought before the board, so we can
Okay,
consider
thank you.
it in some context. But it is recommended, to Simon's point, one is a safety concern and the other, just on a water consumption standpoint, if we got constant water filling in there, probably affecting our ability.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than that, anything else for Simon with resort pools? You do have in the agenda packet the RFP that did go out, so please feel free to review that also.
What page is that?
The RFP is in tab 1.
I just want to say thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming out. Appreciate hearing from you. it's much easier for me to comprehend the pool since I have a grandpa pool.
Yeah.
To actually hear it from someone who does know.
Yeah, and if you guys ever want to go and walk the property, so you actually know what's happening. Yeah, there's been a lot of things that have been done, which, you know, everybody does different things, Speeds does things a different way, like, you know, there's a pump that is outside. Now those pumps are okay to run outside, but, I've asked for my guys to see, there's a kind of a plastic covering we could put over just to help, and keep it out of the, you know, the heat and the rain. But if you guys ever want to kind of have a walk through and see everything that's out there, see how the computers work, see your standard pumps and what they're for, so you actually understand what's out there, just let me know. There was one thing, I've got to send you a proposal for, the filters for the spa and the flow meter that's in there, they broke on last Sunday. So I keep them at the house. The guys have installed new filters and a new flow meter, just to keep you going on the spa. I'll send you the proposal. If you don't like it, I'll put everything old back in. I've never thrown the old stuff away. But we did that just so you could carry on running on the spa. I forgot to tell you about it, because I was busy this week, but yeah, so, you know, anything that ever happens on that, I will replace stuff if I have it, just to keep you going, and then we'll switch them. I can always put the old one, broken one back in if you want. You're never gonna want the old one broken back in, but I'm quite happy waiting for you to get proposals from other people before I give you a final invoice to get paid. It's not overly, so, it's cheap, the bills are cheap, and the flow meter is a few $100, but that's all you have out there that's really broken. I've gone through everything, I've checked everything. Filters are going to be your next thing. They're expensive, they're $55 a filter, and you have quite a lot of them out there. But once we install them, we maintain them. We degrease the filters every month, where we drain them, degrease them, and make them good. So,
What condition were they in?
they were bad. They were like, we had this much, because they use DE, which is like a cheap version. We use $7, which is $30 a bag, and they use DE, which is $7 a bag. Yeah, but they have got £1 of powder on each filter. So they do 10 pounds on 10 filters. We only have to use 4 scoops of 1 gallon drums because we use it, and that's why your water is crystal clear now, because the cellar valves filter down to 0.1 microns where DE is down to 0.7. So it filters them more.
And when we have all that oil and stuff in the pool, then it leaves that scum on the tiles.
You will always have that, but the problem with that is because your autofill doesn't work. So the water level's high, it sticks to the tile, but we clean the tile every time. My guys know that we clean that tile every day, regardless whether it's dirty or it's not dirty, because, and when we get the new tile, when you finally resurface, we need to make sure you don't do a shiny tile. There's a couple of tiles that I can give you.
Okay.
Whoever you know, give you some tiles to use, not the shiny ones, because the shiny ones lose their shine, and then you end up with a white line. You need a matte tile. I don't care which matte tile, but I'll give you a few samples to give to whoever the final person is to say.
Perfect, thank you.
So for the filters, would we like to do a not to exceed amount since they're already in, or do we want to bid out for those?
I think we can set an amount.
Okay.
This way, we always keep an eye on the, up and down.
So what was the cost on it?
55.
I think the filters were like $110 each or something, so they'll be like, I don't know, 190, 195. So I'll get home, I'll check and I'll ping you a thing and then you can let me know.
What would be a good not to exceed amount so that we could get the proposal from you, put it in a formal agreement, and then?
So that we can just get on with the payment thing. Yeah, I mean, it depends. So you have some big on motors.
No, just for the filters that you already put in.
Oh, filters,
The filters and the gauge.
on the filters and the gauge, yeah, something.
600, so
Oh,
And
okay.
you guys do the one purchase, right? Usually from the mini greenhouse, basically like a one purchase for filters.
So you have cartridge filters down there and you have DE filters. So
Right.
you've got the circular filters.
Right.
And then, but they should, it depends. Again, for some results you do it yearly and some they, on small balls, they last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But out there, you probably have to do your filters just before the summer,
maybe every year or every 2 years. I need to get how many are out there, and I can give you a price for it, so I'll get that over, so you know what's there.
Well, that number is still within Joe's scope to approve, right?
Well,
600-ish.
I mean, we're here, if you wanna do a quick not to exceed, it's already installed, and then that way we'll,
So not to exceed $1,000.
600, you said 600.
yeah, I think that'll be enough, I think, I'm pretty sure, so.
So not to exceed 600, do I have a motion for that?
Yes.
Supervisor Neal, second from Supervisor Boyd-Star, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Simon, please send me over, the filter and the gauge, and then, we'll keep those in.
Yeah, then the only one thing we also discussed was things like safety equipment, tow valves. Do you guys want to be responsible with that, or are you happy for me just to switch stuff out as we go? I can give you a list of what the costs are, because they don't change, life rings are the same price, and poles, safety hooks and all that.
That's that, we'll review that next week. What? Just to make sure that we're within compliance, but nothing to jump onto right now, because those, to this point, like life rings, you know, we probably find those vendors that does that too. So we'll look at that February's meeting for those, but I have my not to exceed, all in favor? Opposed? Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah.
Fine. Hey, thank you so much for coming. It's really helpful. That's what I want to hear, and also encourage more to hear, and also it's really helpful for all the community also to hear what you're talking about too, because it's a cost out there. Ben, thank you so much for doing it. It's really helpful. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Simon, thank you so much for your time. Where do you go?
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. Okay. All right, Yep, now we will be moving on to food and beverage operations, a couple of items to review. Brad, take it for the man of the hour. Hello, hello. Great. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
All right, so I believe I have, outline, finance outline, so I'm moving out to, Southern State, paid. Yes. All right, so racial priority is, food license inspection. So, yesterday we had a walkthrough inspection with that, what they do is they come through and they tell us what we need to be done to get the food license. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I mean, there's few things that is mainly like cleaning things of that nature, stuff like that. We have to install air curtain in the back door for pests and things of that nature. That's a small fix. I get part of people there that's just not working or? No, we don't have them back there. Yeah. The other ones are working, so like under garage door, those are working. We had to do the 3 compartment sink, we'll be doing that in-house, to fix that leak that we have. So they're actually working on that right now. The cooler fans, we did the repairs on that. It was not holding temperature in the coolers. So now they want to fix that, so now it's at 40 degrees. We just have to do the panels and the door latch on the freezer door, and that should be good to go.
Okay.
Also, still gotta get the hoods, vents and air ducts, cleaning service, the grease and disinfector service as well. They're gonna be coming out on Tuesdays to do that.
When was the last time the food and service?
They don't even have any records. So this will be the first record of it being serviced, so.
Because when they started deep cleaning, I'm like, I do the hoods first and then deep clean.
Yeah, but the hoods is different with the deep cleaning. They put everything in plastic around the kitchen and then they just, one day exhaust.
Okay.
So what they did was they did the filter.
What's the, you know what the time frame required by law for public cleaning is, or it's 9 months?
So, those cleanings are supposed to be done every 90 days, so every quarter.
so every 3 quarters, yeah, you got that down maintenance.
Okay.
You have a company coming in and do that, or?
Yeah, they're already scheduled, so I have, anytime Saturday, it's gonna be, Reese, and then we have, Hoods, is gonna be a hood next time. So,
Do we need to vote on eventually at some point a proposal that can get these in a contract that they come every 90 days and?
so what you can do is, yeah, the already got a schedule, so it'll be an automatic schedule. So,
Oh, beautiful, August.
Yeah.
yeah, you do that part. Other things, phase 4 technology talks will be delivering today, and they'll be installing on the 15th. So they have to put down, access points to have 5 on the side. For, so we get, that handle on the lazy work on the back area as well, and one inside.
Run that back.
Points, internet points.
Okay.
For those, they'll be on, Thursday, second floor.
Okay.
So this got offset the original open date that put out, since it's not installed.
So,
on the 15th.
So with the 15th, we still, pushing for the soft opening to be on the 17th, which was the initial grand opening date. We're gonna push that back to February. Depending if I get everything done and everything scheduled this week, and then the food license approval for the temporary on the 16th, then we'll be good to go.
And you already have all the staffing in place and everything?
Yeah, they're actually over there working right now, putting everything in the drain. I have 2 vendors waiting on me as we speak to, let's just go in and post it. Good? All right. Right. Okay, so with that, we're working on all of that stuff, but you could go through in more detail with the outline, where how that's done to that. I know we were like floating around this logo. Right.
We haven't discussed yet.
Oh, the logos?
Yeah, so I guess we'll do like a full proposed logos that we're attempting to do in the future. I just need to know on that, so
For the logos, is there one of the 4 that you like the best?
a lot of the fan favorites was employees was the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them too. I think just because it's tied to the police patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty long. Yeah, bottom left is definitely, that was the one that caught my attention.
It's bigger.
The only one I personally don't care for is the top one, because it doesn't identify bar and grill. Other than that, I
Yeah.
could put any of them.
Do you have the vendor photo for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should show that.
So as part of the inspection that was done, we have to have those blowers above all of the doors operational. Well, when they came in and inspected, the one over the full door does not operate, but we had also agreed that we were gonna keep that door closed because that was gonna be the food station area.
Super.
And provide some privacy to staff and eliminate that caution tape that we had to come in the past because it looks happy. And so we,
Sometimes.
Looks like a crime scene.
it looks like a crime scene, so Deanna has copies of, here, I have my phone too. So we're gonna keep that door closed. Here, and I have my phone, and it's right there, full size, whatever logo happens to be that one on that door, and it'll be, you know, advertising for the cafe, with a green color, saying, if you wanna say that.
Okay, so this.
And if we go on like a wrap, and so you can still open the door, it used to be open, but during operation, it remains closed.
Record showing staff in here. We'll take that as a public record, so that'll be something that Brandon does.
Okay. I'll send it to them.
Thank you.
I may have already, honestly.
Thank you.
Here, I'm sending this your way, Brian.
Thank you. Public records.
Yeah.
Noted. All right,
Which is the same thing as this, by the way.
I like. It's very nice.
Yeah, so mainly, that's what we're aiming for. I presented the food trucks, so actually we have 2 more different ones coming on the 12th. And they will service from the 12th to the 17th. Pretty much it.
Is there anything else that you need from the board?
At the moment, right now, no. Yeah, once we get that inspection done, to get the temporary license and we can start with that. We're almost there.
All right, has already done the training and the
Yes.
certifications for the staff.
So everybody, all this back when they train out, you gotta get the cards, you gotta do this. But yeah, they've done their food handling, it's super cool. The only people that only does that, the alcohol is, because they're not being served alcohol by everybody else. Super cool, that's something that I do consider, so if I'm not there. So,
Yeah, I would just ask one question real quick, and then you can go. Is there anything planned for January 17th and sort of?
that would be our soft opening date now, because that was generally gonna be our grand opening, but we had to get it pushed back a little.
I would just say, as a community, we're all pretty excited that this is happening, it should inspire. Is there a way that we could do, like, one day, everything's buy one, get one free, or something like that that would get?
So hopefully, if I can get everything set up, and things like that, 17th, I could do something like, I think food tasting or something like that, so you could actually taste the menu. That's what we like, but I wouldn't know that until.
As we get closer.
Are you still planning on having the grand opening event with the vendors and stuff?
So we haven't scheduled the vendors, but we need that, but they're definitely.
Yeah.
It'll be a different date now that we could
Okay.
actually plan.
You knew where I was going.
And just so the board knows, these handouts are fantastic and a good start towards the contract compliance. Within 30 days of January 1, our business manager does owe the district its management plan as far as, how they're going to maintain kitchen equipment, ensure proper food handling, sanitation procedures are followed, providing for ordering services to the districts, how they can complete their home audits and things of that nature. So this is certainly a start to that management plan. And we're happy to see that presented in advance of the 30 days. But something final would likely be needed for the board to review at February 14th. But this is expensive.
One last thing I would say is, we don't have a lot of things that are launching or new or exciting. This is something that's new for us that I think everyone's proud of. If there is any way with the team to be able to maybe see, could we invite local, like newspaper reporters or online people or influencers in the area that come out when we do launch, and then we'd love to have you too as well. I think it's a wonderful time that they share the news about what's happening. Yeah, the people involved in that, if that can happen.
Maybe we can wait the whole county commission and they can see how much we need that wide.
That's right. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Our marketing activities that our business plan undertake as campaign manager throughout the year. So things like that, like bringing in, local folks.
Fill it up.
Whole section for content.
So I'm just like.
I'm not sure. I think it depends on if you guys want to change it. You want the community to be able to have some way in on it, or if you guys just want.
I think we just need to make a decision, and that's what I think he's anticipating in terms of the direction, so that he can get.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Let's take, if you want to make a motion on the one that you think is best.
Okay, you're real big. I honestly do not have an opinion other than the one that doesn't identify the bar in it.
And I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion 3 for this one that has the bar and grill in the bottom, the square one, sorry.
I'll second that one. I think it looks fantastic.
All right, Supervisor Burns. Any other comments on logo design before we take a final vote? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Go back to the bottom.
Can we at least get this design on like a polo shirt?
You can put it on.
A custom made polo shirt with young.
Yeah. Go crazy.
Do it like you start with that.
All right.
It's a great.
Wonderful. Anything else on the F&B side?
Just a final follow-ups on that, because again, one of the initial commitments Artemis made, we talked about a number of times, was the delivery golf cart. Down we wanted the gas power, obviously, so it was good to go. That contract, Sam's pretty much been doing, that exclusively. That contract was signed, the check's been picked up today. And so we'll have it delivered hopefully next week.
Next week.
Yeah, so we'll have it delivered next week. We'll get a vinyl, Solterra resort on it. It's got the dump back. So we can have variations of different compartments for, drinks and beverages, hot pockets, all sorts of things that we're doing. And hopefully we can really push to get it over, because I know Greg has really got it for trying to sell some cool like wing buckets out to the community for the Super Bowl. So that's something we're really trying to support. But why that gas off the market? Again, that's, it's being sure by artists, it's on harvest dime, but the idea is obviously we don't have to charge up because it may be in and out, hopefully. Yes.
For Super Bowl, do we still have that inflatable movie projection screen?
We do.
Could we use that and have a Super Bowl event using that?
I'll have to see, because the projector was always pretty weak from what I heard.
It's at nighttime.
But it's gonna be dark,
Yeah,
so that'll be good.
But it was our, let's put lifestyles and melody on that, and we'll do some test nights and maybe does. Yeah.
The new ones now
Yeah.
are really cheap. The new ones now are really cheap.
Yeah.
So, but what a wild event.
I just have a quick question regarding the golf cart. Is it gonna be wrapped for Solterra, or is it gonna be wrapped for Cafe Sol? And Debbie, do you have a preference?
Sorry,
Do you have a preference on the golf cart wrap?
I think we should try to put the logo on it that we just approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would stay with the community.
And a QR code.
Yeah.
If it's more deliveries, I think it'd be fantastic.
I
to
think
go
we
with
need a
that.
QR code for the mobile ordering, and we need the logo that we just decided.
Okay. I should
There should be like a roof, on a fabric thing, so if we could have like fabric, and also there should be the clear rain panels. In case it's raining, that's when people are most likely gonna order.
Yeah, it's a quiet tech too with the engine, so the engine's not flaring like it doesn't sound like a game. We don't want there's something, but, we can certainly, it has all sorts of, functionality we can put on that. It doesn't be registered, obviously, because it's speed and it working, so how to play, titled, everything else, so.
Is there any benefit, or is it not possible for us to use an EV?
So that's a whole different project, because your EV charging is extremely limited over there. Your current golf cart takes like 9 hours to charge for like 4 hours of use. It's not super practical. So what we didn't want, especially with the speed at which we're trying to kind of do and doing delivery testing, the gasoline.
Do we just bring it in with a gas can?
The way the infrastructure, like later on, if you have, shuttle
Build
services,
it,
have
a charging
infrastructure,
station at some point.
maybe something if you want to add to, but the gas just, if you guys get super busy, you're just flying around with only having one,
Yeah.
you probably don't.
You want
Either get out and have to drive your car.
That was kind of value golf cart that we got like last minute, so it's probably not the highest end
Yeah,
golf cart that we currently own.
it works. I mean, it goes 7 miles an hour, but it works.
So I'm wondering,
I know it's.
because, in new home communities, they have these like 6-seater, 8-seater EVs that are running, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. without issue.
This started as a way to get more revenue by getting from the people
Right.
quick. I think that would be maybe a phase two.
Yeah.
Which we see if revenue's coming through.
Then we can, watch that.
Upgrades. Yeah, upgrades. Absolutely.
And that wasn't a project we worked on for the EVs, and we've already spoken with electricians on what it would take to build out a more robust system for charging over there, and you do have the capacity because it's right next to all the pool equipment, so you do have the power for it. But it would require, you have pads, you would basically have several shovels running while others are charging and stuff like that, so you would just cycle what you have.
This is the start up and then we'll get some
Thank
stuff
you.
upgraded.
I agree with the gas decision.
It's black metallic, just so that'll be easier to do the logos and wrap.
Okay, perfect.
Interior.
Thank you guys. It's exciting.
Supervisor Nealon, you had some comments?
Some questions, so is there any insurance required for that?
Yes,
That's covered.
yeah, Artemis is doing all that.
So I mean, is it going to be Artemis asset or like this one?
See, technically it is an Artemis asset, yeah, but that's to largely shift liability as well, so, yeah.
It's going back, that would be a quick question. I know you mentioned a quicken. Isn't it quicken for bookkeeping?
QuickBooks. He's talking about QuickBooks.
No, it's just quick.
Oh, Quicken.
It's QuickBooks, I was on the call.
It's gonna be QuickBooks. I don't know.
And that's part of what I said, this is the start of their management plan, I don't believe this is a complete, yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
It's not a complete management plan or final version for the board to approve, so I would say if the board has comments to this, you know, management plan, give those.
I think that was an
comments so that they can be addressed in the final version.
Thank you.
And he's been left, I mean, he's working obviously with the rest of the team on that, but I don't applaud him for that. So I agree. If you highlight it, you want something more robust than. Yeah.
And then just to note, we did have a very productive call yesterday in terms of separating the accounts for the FZ. So just to bring you guys up to speed as well, Artemis is opening up a account to manage the $75,000 funds. And then that will be their operating accounts, and they will make any check request to the district if those funds ever need to be replenished. So how the contract is designed, we finally got there. So uplifting, so Supervisor Nealon, we will be getting reports on a monthly basis from the Artemis team. I still wish we could review them.
So do we really get breakfast?
Now, yeah, so now we have the Bank United for the 75,000, and basically that's the fund to fund Artemis is entire. For the contract, yes.
And those reports are coming through our vice president of accounting directly to the, not like, it's not even a Greg thing, it goes to the other tiers so they can kind of reconcile and make sure. Yeah. It's very sensitive.
Yeah. Sandra, thank you for leading that first here. Other than that, anything else for F&B? Hearing none? Okay, wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into general manager, please. Oh, we have one more.
Yes, we have it. We wanted to make sure that there were no financial changes for the accounts, just so that we didn't have to do it.
Okay, and now that we know that they'll be in your inbox very shortly.
Wonderful. All right, Jeff.
So I'm gonna speak through that, Mr. Restaurant. But I'm gonna go to, not sure if you guys have a chance to read this, I'm gonna go to the conclusion section, just kind of briefly go through the executive summary, and we're trying to, keep the meetings down a bit, but if you have any questions, certainly let me know. So our financial and operational performance, again, I was compared to the year prior. Gross sales increased 25.3% year over year. This time around, I think a lot of us were somewhat surprised at us kind of meeting capacity through the holiday season. It was a welcome surprise. Total transactions rose by more than 21%. We increased at 7.2% year over year. This was basically your cabana rentals. We used kind of increased targeting discounts to incentivize the cabana rentals. And we were able to actually increase the price or increase the earnings on top of that and get stronger engagement generally, because obviously we don't want them sitting out there empty. Especially when we're at capacity, which was difficult because a lot of people don't want to go on the cabanas this time of year because they want to be out in the sun because it's kind of chilly. So they're doing their.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This is discount from tops, 2,515. Is that just discounts when you try and cut down like a vehicle cost?
Yeah.
Is that accounting for that? The kind of regular and.
Yeah, so your flat rate cabana cost is $100. So when we came in terms of coming into a seasonal area, we're kind of going to drop some dies that I'm otherwise at $50. In terms of them being able to do it.
So that's the flat number?
Yes, it does. So even with us actually doing the discount reductions, we were able to actually net over and above with the discounts. So that's where it wouldn't always work that way. So you can't always, trust that that's gonna work. It has to actually work.
Well, how do they do those discounts? Because like you said, they want to be in the sun. But when you come to Solterra, you see, $50 for a guy, cool, I'm doing it.
Right.
So.
It worked really well before when it was, when you could incentivize with kind of a bucket beer and things like that. When that kind of went away, it wouldn't have made sense for us to then kind of drop it down. That's why, everybody's pretty excited about the F&B side and what you guys could do to kind of drive people in there. But we would do things like, we do like a cabana giveaway. then the requirement is that they give us a positive review, they'd be entered into a raffle, and then hopefully by seeing people in cabanas, it would drive people into them. And mostly it actually worked, so, we'll work all the time here, so it's gonna be kind of, subjective. As far as staffing, no, I don't want those numbers. The numbers say 320 hours were actually saved from December 1st to January 4th, which results in 5,760 saved in payroll. One of those is a vacancy. So there was a vacancy in a staff member position. So it's in reality, additional transparency, it's actually about 120 hours that we suppressed down, but we were able to keep our service levels the same, which is beneficial because much of what we're trying to do, that's going to end up being probably like $2,100 in actual savings. Much of what we're trying to do is, again, go leaner while we can.
Yep.
And then as we kind of talked about, whether we can keep the clubhouse open later to do parking passes or whatever else when the season really blows up, it's not going to explode the budget that's agreed upon between us because we would have built in for that. And we're reducing now while we can, trying to really, scrape through over our bellies. And then that way, when we need to stay open later or have additional, people on, then we can.
Quick question.
Sure.
So throwing back to the cabanas and not necessarily just the cabanas, is there any accommodation that we can make on property in this area for lockers or security, that kind of thing for people who, want to lock up their valuables, but,
Sure. So one of the things we've looked at, that's certainly a project we can do. I think this has gone back to, there's an area, you've probably seen it, right, where there's a shed. It's like a utility shed, but we're gonna move that off. But we were thinking, you could probably fit, and I haven't looked, so I don't want to speak too far ahead, but maybe like a 40 locker bay. And then ideally, it is kind of a paid service and it is a rev share back. Because again, that's what we want, what we want to do is we don't want to nickel and dime everybody like crazy, but you do obviously want to add things that help the amenity, but also then get money back so they pay for themselves and then also help to defray costs.
Well, I think they're free, they're gonna fill up a lot quicker. If you got paid $5, then something minimal, then you're not gonna pay for $5 unless you actually have to use it.
Exactly.
If it's free, someone might just come up and say, I'm gonna throw a cup in there for the hell of it. So I mean, that charge them.
and then keys disappear, they walk with their.
Right. And if that's a project you want us to do, let me know, we'll get some sort of, there's a lot of stuff Brian and I have looked at, digitizing your kind of kiosks and signs outside, those also offer a rev share as well. So really anything that we do, we're not looking for gaudy, but anything that we can do to kind of increase the look and feel of the resort, but at the same time, get some sort of rev share back in the wall is kind of what we're aiming for. I mean, that's the whole goal of the cafe, and really anything that we're trying to do is to give you guys more money. That's literally what the leisure fee is for, which was really a decision when that was made, we're good, but, so yeah, I think that's, any money that you can get in as a result of that to defray the cost is gonna be, a greater possibility of you guys having the ability to suppress or limit CDD expenses.
Mostly like to use the technology effectively.
Right,
So this way, like, it's convenience, right? Nowadays, we want the convenience.
right.
So they're using the technology a lot, so
Oh, yeah.
effectively use that to make it more, publicize the campaign or whatever.
No, I agree, yeah. As far as, so sorry about that, but as far as, I was on the staffing part. So again, we're gonna continue to do that month over month. We're going to kind of take a look at it as we start getting to March, obviously, staffing levels will kind of fluctuate. Just as FYIs on your projects, so a lot of your key projects will, that we're in flow are work completed. So the gem refresh is essentially finalized now. You have to do a fully under. I know as well as the racks. We're gonna do somewhat of a low key kind of soft, which we'll announce it. We'll announce it online on Fun Steps. We're gonna do kind of just like a low key grand opening next week. We've got, some protein drinks, some hydration drinks. We've got some kind of giveaways and stuff that we're gonna do. And we're inviting people in and we've got these comment cards. We basically want to hear from everybody, what do you think about the new gym? But on top of that, are there like accessories for some of the equipment that we don't currently have that they'd like to use? So like a tricep.
You know what we need in there is we just need one of those little cubby things that we can tuck in a corner that doesn't take up much space, that people can put their personal items in when they come in, because there's really nowhere to put things.
It's pretty common. You can find that on Amazon.
Yeah, you could probably even buy cute things from Target and just put this, little anchor thing in there so it doesn't tip over and you're golden. I mean,
That's
$50.
Yeah, we also don't have like it, we all have one, I go ahead and use that, they have just little cubby holes, like you're talking about, shove your bag in there.
Okay, so we can definitely do that. But yeah, so we'll have a Dropbox, very similar to the comment box here. Part of that giveaway and part of the grand opening event is again, try to drive reviews and to basically say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Please leave a review online. The sidewalk project, as I'm sure you've all seen, is done. Pretty stoked about that. Something I think everybody in the community will probably agree should have been done initially by the developer, and it was, so you guys are righting it wrong there. And I think that'll be great, whether it's utilized in the future for parking passes and us kind of being out there and having, greater ability there, or just obviously an access to the clubhouse itself. Again, as we talked about the pressure washing,
While you were talking about that though, where are we at on the Wi-Fi?
just one second on that. So again, and I think I just mentioned it with Simon, they'll be out here on the 18th. They're gonna come out at 7 a.m., pressure wash. Once they're done, they'll have enough time to circulate before we open. And then they'll just make sure everything comes off of that. As far as you were talking about, so in terms of the Wi-Fi, one of the little minor setbacks that we had, but also kind of silver lining to it, is the vendor that was approved last time at our meeting in December actually declined the job. We sent over to them the amended contract, they declined the job, they didn't give a reason for it. They simply declined it, so we kind of pivoted, and went to some other electrical vendors. You already had an electrical vendor, Dutch, who we were using for the sidewalk project to relocate electric cables. We brought them in. I asked them to kind of do a deep dive on the electrical box and see, and work with Insight to see if there was an alternative solution. You guys agreed to something around $4,200, because we did sub panels. So the alternative solution was that they were actually able to identify, and I'm not gonna get the terminology right, but they were able to actually combine breakers and actually give us some space. So instead of having to do an entire sub panel, we were actually able to do just the necessary plug for the UDM itself, because it doesn't draw a lot of power.
Can you go back to the please, sorry?
Yeah.
Say that again.
So instead of actually, so originally the two electricians that came in prior to, it said we were gonna need a sub panel because all of your panels are full. So their idea was to build in 10.
Yeah, so they could move one wire into another breaker.
Basically what they did is they went in and they tested every single one. They said, these are being underutilized. We can combine this and actually give you space for the UDM, which is not.
They do the amperage draw.
Yeah, and it doesn't draw a lot of amps anyway.
What is the amps? Does it have enough amps left?
Oh, yeah, I think the max that you're looking at wattage for that is 30 watts or something. So, I mean, it's rated for a 240. So, I mean, we're good on volts there. And that's what we needed to plug in. So we actually got that done for 800. So that's a savings of 3450. Now, it's not a like for like scope, so I hesitate to say savings. Because again, you were paying for a sub panel, but now we have this cheaper solution that didn't require the sub panel. But it's still a savings.
I like it.
Yeah, so it's still a good savings. Now that that's done in working with Insight, they're gonna be out within the next week and a half. And speaking with Tim to take everything out of your IT closet and then just rebuild out. That's the last step. They're gonna do that at night so that it's not impacting our ability to kind of serve people as they come in. Even if they did, we've got the HOA Wi-Fi, so we can always switch it.
Are they putting in new racks or like new switch, or they're using the same thing what you got in?
It's in term, as far as, no, it's completely rebuilt. It's all the new Bickley stuff that we purchased, quite a long time ago, but it's all brand new stuff. So is the UDM, all your outside stuff. So the minute that goes in, and they're done, we'll switch over. And then they'll go out, they'll test everything, make sure they've got, signal out of the Lazy River, make sure we've got signal out of the pickleball courts, all the way out of the parking lot, where we run to the front, make sure we're good to go there. And then when that's done, that's when I turn around and work with StayFi. And StayFi is your captive portal group for the guests coming in so that they obviously get, kind of that good follow-up and feedback when they first come into the resort. Hey, you signed on a Solterra, here's your information, please provide reviews. Does that answer kind of where we're at with that? Yeah. So again, it's been in close conversation with Tim and Insight. Really just the last part, some policy or rule changes with the cafe downtime. Obviously, you've seen the food trucks. We'll have a different food truck in here next week. We'll have a menu for that. It will go online as well. But, what we've also done is we have done a temporary rule change with temporary food access adjustments during cafe downtime. So we have opened up the rules a bit on allowing food in. Because we obviously don't want people to feel like we're forcing them out there to a food truck that is frankly a little bit more expensive than what a cafe was. So we are relaxing those rules. So this past week, we've had some people coming in, sandwiches, things like that. They're still not bringing in beer. You're not bringing glass bottles, anything like that. And fortunately, we've been able to kind of navigate that period unscathed. Haven't had any bad reviews about the cafe being, closed for the transition or anything. Most people have been kind of enjoying the options that are there, so hopefully that continues.
And the food truck, the vetted, right?
Yeah.
The DDR license.
We had one, there was a question on one of the food trucks, so an inspector came out and they just had to provide their licensing and they had to go back and make sure that they have all the licensing as well, rather than just their on-site food licensing, but they did pass after that. But yeah, we vet them, and then we have a document that, obviously we work really closely with district, and while it's not their responsibility, they helped us very quickly, district and council, to get the necessary performance. Basically, it's all harmless anyway.
Yeah, just to release us from liability.
It does. So it puts it all on us, but we needed a quick reaction and we got it, which I think is the whole point of that kind of team synergy here, is so that we can get stuff done quickly.
Are you planning to keep them?
Do what?
After they open, are you planning to keep this mobile?
I think that's up to y'all. I mean, if you guys think it's a good idea that from time to time, I think a lot of the homeowners like the idea, but if you guys think from time to time you'd like to have some food trucks out.
I actually really like when we have the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we have here. It was like an ice cream bowl.
Right.
Jamie used to get, I don't even remember the name of it, but that truck was, I mean.
That is the curly ice cream. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we'd certainly be open to it. I know we talked about doing a lot more with lifestyles too, so I think if we start having maybe more of our community events, that could be helpful. Yeah.
That was good.
Things like.
Yeah.
I think the food trucks would damage our profit there, but as far as like an ice cream truck or something, they're not gonna be serving rolled ice cream. That was something like that, definitely during the hot days.
Right.
Or lemonade, like up north with Dell's lemonade, which I can't believe we don't have here in Florida, but.
So in the past, and y'all have suggestions.
Have you ever had Dell's lemonade?
No,
Frozen lemonade, I thought, oh.
it's
They're
crazy.
Italian, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all have suggestions and stuff, if y'all have suggestions and stuff, send in, we'll add extra, that's got everything, get them in the Rolodex, and then that way, if people have certain cuisine they wanna see out here, that's.
Yeah, actually, I mean, like, you can do the same thing, just, if you think that there are a couple of things which you already executed, it worked very well, like the one which is starting with ice cream.
Yeah.
Which we already have, if they're really already working it, you can like propose those things, those ideas.
Yeah.
As long as it's not completing the.
Sure, yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. We just kind of incorporate that in, and we'll speak with liaison and kind of incorporate that into kind of lifestyles and just say, hey, how often do you maybe want to consider doing this, or when maybe kind of create. I mean, people love the food trucks. I mean, it does drive a lot of people, so, okay, that's a good idea. The only last thing I want to kind of cover is the review initiatives. Again, I've worked on a lot of surveys. That's more on our side, though, that'll go out. We did send out the newsletter. Actually, it's just a little two-part here. We did send out the newsletter. One, people seem to really like the structure of the newsletter and the content. The feedback and getting back, which I certainly understand, is it's not really mobile friendly. And that's what we're working on. This front steps, the newsletter side is clunky. So I'm trying to work with our communications team to potentially use a different platform, on us, so that we can make sure that we have a mobile happy variant.
It's fine.
It's fine, it's easy, but.
No, I'm like, oh, my open, they email to me guys,
Yeah.
it goes when I see the email.
Yeah.
Fine.
A lot
I
of
mean,
people,
if it's just blink a little strange, but
a lot of people don't like having to just, kind of pan in, it's just not optimized for it. Similarly to the way the newsletter works, is you have to upload the newsletter next to it as well, and the links do not work.
Correct.
In that, they can only work when you download the upload.
They
And that's
cancel the constant
And then-
content.
But we can fix that if we actually make it mobile optimized, and every time we send out a newsletter, I get all the tech gurus, the community, I know, I get an email back, this isn't mobile optimized yet, and I'm like, oh, that's hard. You know, and they'll ultimately give me an idea, but if you go on ChatGPT, you put, I'm just not there. I mean, I try to go and copy it.
Yeah, I know the best, you send me charges because
Yeah.
questions I can see the that's it.
It's great, but I try to fix it, and then it just, and I'm like, I didn't do it right, so.
ChatGPT thing's weird, though, it lies sometimes.
Does it?
Yeah, so somebody sent me a long email about what Prop T can do,
Yeah,
and it was off of ChatGPT.
yeah,
And it's literally none of what the email from the homeowner said,
yeah.
can we actually do.
No, well,
Yeah, chat would tell you that it's not a verifiable source.
No.
Yes, you can't take it as the.
Oh, yeah, I told people we could like add license plates or open the gate, I'm like, that's totally separate law. We can't, and then everybody's thinks that you're able to notify violators, parking spots, and like tax them, you know, and tell them to move their car, I'm like, that's not. No place for that.
it can be very helpful for tech troubleshooting and trying to do stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you certainly don't want to depend on it, but, yeah, so we're working on that to try, obviously, to get a much more mobile responsive version for those that like to look at it, you know, there. So that's part of it. And then also just kind of a note, in the last 6 months, for about 269 positive reviews, which over that 6 month period actually equates to a rating of about 4.7 stars. The actual rating.
Yeah, let's get some of that.
Yeah, so pretty excited about that. Still have some that are coming in, obviously, you know, since the newsletter, we've had 18 additional reviews, 16 with 5-star, we have 1 3-star, we have 1 1-star. We do engage with those, Chris Hanks, in conjunction with myself, we do engage with those to try to capture them back. A lot of them are still based on the homes themselves rather than, you know, being based specifically on the resort. But we just, again, we're just trying to educate on there just as timely as possible. We'll say, hey, guys, you know, we certainly, you know, understand where you're coming from. Please take that to the property manager and convey that. But would you be, you know, would you consider modifying, you know, your rating as it relates to the amenities specifically?
I've read that, I mean, it looks like a lot of people just don't even have it, just gotta leave it.
No, but I mean, honestly, I'm just thrilled we're getting 5 stars because again, it seems to be difficult to kind of get people to pop online. You know, it's when they're angry, it's, you know, you tend to hear.
That's easy, yeah.
Very good one. But again, we don't take them with a grain of salt either because those reviews can actually be extremely beneficial. So, and very helpful in kind of guiding what we do. So aside from that, yeah, we still have a lot of projects on.
The pool stairs are done, the painting of the bathroom's done.
Yeah, that's all done. They added higher grit to it, so it's non-slips. Now we don't have any other tape on there, so that's all good. Sorry, good.
So, we're gonna be, and when it comes to all of this, and this is your purview that I'm so excited about. 2 things. So the front green area that we've been talking about, batting it around for a while, do we have anything?
You're talking about the amenities that we want to do?
Or the surround for the sand volleyball area, the green space with the bocce and the.
We haven't touched that yet.
Do we have a timeline on when we can start getting quotes and bids and find out what this looks like?
I would say, we can probably start that maybe after February's meeting. Let us get through landscape RFP, pool RFP, and some of these other open items that we got now. Our landscape consultants, let's get all that situated, and then I think after February's meeting, me and Joe should free up some time and start getting in that direction.
And, I've started using the pickleball courts, and I've gotten some feedback from people out there on the courts, guests. And this is a quick, easy fix. It may be within the parameters of your spend, but the 2 things that people are asking for out there are benches that they can put their equipment on, sit, change their shoes, things like that. And a water container thing out there so they can hydrate while they're playing. So there's like a water cooler, like a cooler.
Well, and that's why I was asking to want like a subscription service to a water.
I don't know. I'm just bringing it up.
Is
What
that
are
bad?
Yeah, I think hot light would be best, because the subscription, a lot of people are out there, but
those go wide through the, yeah.
So that was,
So a hardwired fountain as opposed to bringing out like those jugs that they have like on football fields.
Time staff's gonna have to refill that, ice that, the water. It's gonna become an ongoing task.
What do we do? Will we need a water line for that then?
Yeah, they'll pull it off, so probably pull it off, maintenance, yeah, they'll pull off maintenance, and then they can just, that's just a small tap, you literally, it's a kit they sell, it taps into our water line, and then just feeds it, so I mean, that's, just have a filter for it.
And have a filter for it?
Maybe I just make sure we secure it.
Okay, is that within the purview of you, would that be?
so the benches are easy. I've ordered benches on Home Depot before, you just put them to the ground.
And we have some, I mean, we're currently getting the quotes for pads, all the pads, we have the one in Freedom and the new Scout Legacy, so all the bench pads they talk about, and putting benches there. We have those, and then at the same time, we can get them to include, benches that are mounted within that area, so that's kind of a quickie. As far as,
Probably cheaper than the pad.
yeah, as far as for sure, but you definitely want to make sure that those are secured down, because some people are carrying benches around, I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, and then I just wouldn't want to speak yet on the actual water line, so I'd like to get some quotes on that and see like what's the best way to get it through, secure it, and then obviously make sure that it's a safe, durable, solution, long term, what we would need to do, kind of on maintenance and everything.
Is that something that we need to vote on, or do we?
Let's gather some information and then we'll bring it back.
All right, great. So he can look into it before we vote on it.
Yep. Joe, anything else for the board?
That's all I have. Obviously, you're all free to message me anytime with any projects that you want. I can just continue to create like a Rolodex, and we'll do quotes, we'll do ideas, and then I'll work, with the team to implement when is the right time to bring it up and do everything else. So.
You're amazing.
I'd just like to say that this is a fantastic report, like there's just win, 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 right down the board. Devin and I were talking how much has changed over the last year, and we see these reports and it's just fantastic. It feels like we made the right decision and keep going. Don't slow down.
Everybody who walks in this door, I feel it. When I walk in, I feel welcomed. I feel like everybody's smiling and happy and just great rapport with our vendors. It's just completely different night and day feel from what it used to be. And thank you so much for your work on the reviews and everything else, because that is everything. We are predominantly a hospitality business, and you are knocking it out of the park. Thank you, Diana, the whole staff. Everybody's been amazing. Josh, taking ownership of all of the plants. I call him Plant Daddy now. It's like, he never planted a thing. He planted that bird of paradise we found in the garbage. He planted it there and now it's like.
No.
Yeah, pineapples, yeah, he's just like taken off, he loves it, so.
Well, no, I appreciate it. I'm able to have really good canned conversations with every single one of you. I've probably spoken to all of them. You guys have also hired very well with respect to the rest of the team. Brian and I have done really well, working together. So I think, yes, guys, let's just keep doing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Joe, it's amazing.
To piggyback off of Karen in the last 2 weeks, through the holiday season, I've been out and about and met a lot of property owners, names that have been familiar, and finally, got to meet them face to face, and every single one of them has been very pleased with how the resort looks as compared to previous visits. So we're doing something right, but
Yeah.
we owe it all to you.
Well, no, thank you very much. And just the last thing from my team here, because I do want to say that I felt like the cookie exchange was incredibly successful, brought a ton of homeowners out. So I definitely want to thank Deanna and Deb, you guys.
Yeah.
Big.
Probably
She's fantastic. So that was big, and I think it just kind of sheds light on, more events and things that you guys can do in the future for the trucks and anything. So really, sky's the limit. So we definitely recognize, good this month, but work's not done. I mean, it's just take a month by month.
It's
It's one day at a time.
Yeah.
Wonderful, general manager reports, anything for Jim, anything to bring up? Right, you probably want to take a recess?
Can't reach the things, so shorter people might have a thing for the.
The lap, the lap only.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta step on the BOS ball.
She said she's 5 feet tall, but she's 4'11" on a good day, so. That's why she likes that thing, she can pull and she thinks it's gonna stretch her out.
Still trying, that's fine.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
working.
90 years old.
What's it called? Do we want to take a recess or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a recess, all right. Got a recess motion from Bob, seconded from Supervisor Hyam, all in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? All right, everybody on the call, we will be right back.